Quality of life, how do we get it? Do we get it by doing things that just take no effort so we can just sit around all day? What do we get quality of life from? I guess to everyone it's different things, right? Yeah, I think about it. But you know what I notice a lot of times? Is that people think that by not putting effort into things, they'll get more quality of life. And I think to a certain percentage, that makes a difference. Because I've created a whole system for my life where I do things to not have to put so much extra work in as far as pain points, right? Pain points, cleaning things up, doing a lot of long work, making a mess, all these things, a lot about making a mess, or actually having to do a lot of paperwork, or just like racking your brain about things that aren't necessarily what you want to be spending your focus on, right? But there's a lot to be said for the happiest people being ones that are working on something all the time. It's very unfulfilling to not be working on something, to be sitting around letting time pass because it feels better than having to get up and do something. And another thing I notice is that people think they're saving energy or time, but they're actually putting just as much energy and time in, but with a different approach, with the goal to not put a lot in, right? So this happens with anything in life. And I think about food a lot and cooking. And I think about with coffee. And with coffee, I feel like is a major one that people do every day. And it's the same as spending money. And I talk about spending the money before because it's something people use as a reason all the time, right? Like, oh, well, I'm just going to buy an okay bed. Or I'm just going to buy an okay TV because, oh, that seems expensive. You're using the bed every single night. The more you spend on it, as long as you're getting something great for your money. I'm saying I believe in value, so I'm not saying just spend money to spend money, but that's a worthwhile cause, you know? Education, it's a worthwhile cause. If you're really getting great education, that's going to get you an awesome job or just put you at a better point for yourself in your life. I mean, that's invaluable, right? And I feel the same way about coffee. It's like you drink coffee every day. Coffee and quality of life go hand in hand. And I feel like it's a direct reflection of your quality of life as to what you're using and what you're doing in your daily basis. Is like the care you put into your yard, the care you put into your dinner, the care you put into the decor in your home. And I do really believe strongly in the fact that the less things you need, the simpler you can make things, the more peaceful you'll be and the happier you'll be. And you think about who these people that would be considered the most at peace, most happy, most elevated spiritually people in the world. And what are they? They're these guys that have basically nothing and just sit there and meditate all the time, right? And everybody has a different opinion on that. Some people think that the more rich you are, the happier you are, or all the way down to that little kid in the jungle has nothing, leaf over his head when it's raining and he's happy, which is relative to those guys, right, sitting there with nothing. And so for me, I would rather use less things but use really great things and use techniques that make things come out great. So when it comes to the coffee, I don't need sweetened flavored stuff. I do love milk drinks, but I don't need that all the time. Just some water and some coffee, and knowing how much time and knowing how much the way to grind it, how to prepare the coffee and create that drink, and just be able to sit there and drink just a really beautiful, clean cup of coffee. It's amazing for me. And drinking the good coffee and it making my quality of life better because of how I feel from it makes a huge difference. It's like cooking. You could take 3 ingredients and you could make an outstanding world-class meal by knowing how to prepare those ingredients. Or you could take 50 ingredients and not know what to do with them and just dump them together. And I think that it actually doesn't take any difference in effort. Maybe even more in the method that's supposed to be easier, but it's the approach, right? And so when it comes to coffee and quality of life, I think it's like everything in quality of life. And my approach is take something really great and let it speak for itself. Keep it simple and just reap the rewards and enjoy it, and more purity. And I was thinking about this recently where you visualize your ideal environment you would want to live in, what your space would be like, you know, and we're in this time right now where everybody's kind of redefining themselves and their lives, are most people. And it's a really like an awakening for people as far as we have all these ways that we're set in, and then we realize that we could be whoever we want to be. And when you believe in that and you know that, it's a really freeing feeling, instead of feeling like you have to fight hard to maintain what your beliefs have been. And so, not to go too much into beliefs, but as far as quality of life in coffee, like getting a really well produced coffee that's really simple, putting some simple care into producing it the right way, taking those few minutes to make the coffee really amazing versus just not caring about it and then just sitting there and doing nothing. I think it makes a great difference because it actually inspires me, and it becomes like the power that creates worlds. It's just that inspiration from within, that fire burning, a burning desire is what can make you able to do anything you could imagine in your life. And if you have simple tools that you can use to give you that desire to create anything you want in your life, that's like, oh, that's amazing, right? So there you go. Get amazing coffee. Take the time to brew it right. Drink that coffee. See how it makes you feel. See how it affects what you do in your day. See what the difference is when you put care into something and keep it simple, and how it makes you feel. And you know what's exciting too is that, you know, people get frustrated when they make mistakes, but making mistakes is great, because that's how you get moving forward. It creates the contrast in order for you to know what you want. By knowing what you don't want, you know what you do want. And you can't get to what you want unless you know what it is. Then you could just focus on what you want and just go in that direction. And going in the direction of your desires is the most fulfilling thing that I believe you can achieve in life. And that's why it's never over. You can't get it done. And anytime you feel overwhelmed, that's a great thing to remember. You can't get it done. So don't try to be finished with anything. Just let it keep going. You're always on to the next thing and the next thing and the next thing. And that's what happiness is. Creating this amazing cup, drinking it, feeling amazing, and then going and doing great things and coming back to it and cycling through that process is like such an enriching feeling. Go on the website. I'm actually roasting on Wednesdays. I'll ship them out to you on Thursdays, or deliver if you're in the local Santa Cruz County, California area. And I'll get you some awesome coffee, and you can watch my other videos or talk to me personally, and we'll go over how to prepare the coffee. You drink that, you're going to be like, holy cow, this is a feeling I haven't had before. Unless you're familiar with drinking really small batch, third wave artisan coffees on a regular basis, you're going to see a huge quality of life improvement. And that's why I lose, luckily, almost no customers. I've kept almost everyone all these years, and it's because once people get that feeling, that's not an easy feeling to replicate in life. I love it. Join me for a cup. Contact me. We'll drink it together. We'll have a happy day. Ted signing off. See you in the next one.